So I've been told I should just do a general reflections video on Star Wars Celebration. It's been a couple of days now, I guess a week ago. Let's see, today's Saturday, right? So like a week ago, I was on the convention floor, still rattled by uh, the Rise of Skywalker announcement, and we were in the middle of learning about Jedi Fallen Order, I think, if I'm remembering my days correctly. And I guess I can talk about it. I feel like my vlogs kind of captured the energy of the space well, but maybe I'll talk a little bit about what it's like there for people deciding if it's the type of thing they'd ever want to go to, what they'd like to do if they went. So before I went to Celebration, I was very anxious. I I was really afraid that there was going to be like a quiz to get in, right? Like I was going to try to get into Celebration and there was going to be somebody like stopping me at the door to make sure that like I was a fan enough to be there, or like if I didn't know how to do Celebration, like everything was going to go wrong. Like I saw all these people making buttons and pins and all of this stuff and I had no idea how to make anything, and I'm not really a cosplayer, and like I was like, am I even going to fit in? What is this going to be like? And everyone told me to not worry about it, and I couldn't help but worry about it anyway. And the other thing I did, is I thought about all of the big A-list panels I wanted to go to, Episode 9 being one of them. And of course there was the big to-do with the lottery system, and would we be able to get to go to some of the panels, and was it better for everyone, was it worse for everyone, and that sort of thing. And I got cautioned again that it's really not the big panels that make Celebration. And it's really easy, as somebody who's watched the past celebrations on the live stream, since they've been doing the live stream, all you see is the big panels, right? All you see is the big movie panel, the big TV panel. That's kind of a skewed view of what Celebration really is. And I kept telling people who were on Twitter, like, if you are watching the live stream, you are seeing more Celebration than I am. Like, I had no idea what was going on at Celebration unless I was at that panel. And sometimes being in the panel is the worst. That sounds weird to say, it's not the worst, but like, you really don't hear about anything. Like, I could have been in a panel and there could have been all this news getting announced, and I just would have no idea, even though I'm there. And what I was told was it's really the people that you're going to see there that are going to be the big difference. And I really wish I would have listened to everyone. I tried to. It wasn't like lack of belief as much as lack of ability to think in the way I was being told was better. But that's really how it is. Like, I was so afraid that it was going to be this thing where I'm going to be walking around and everyone will have read more books than me. I knew how behind I was in the comics. Like, this is going to be horrible. Like, everyone's going to be talking about everything all of the time. It's just not what it was like. Like, I just talked to people in line. I made new friends. I found internet friends. And there was really just this spirit of camaraderie. And if you hit a point where if I had read something and they hadn't, or they had read something and I hadn't, we just picked a different topic. There was never an end of things to talk about, even if it was Celebration. And it really was the people you meet that was the best part, and the walking around on the floor. And like the panels I went to, I'm so glad I went to. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to do 5 days without any, and there were so many fun memories from those. But really, if you did 2 in a day, like, you were doing great, because the rest of the time it's just exploring that was the best part. There were frustrations. Like, I feel like a lot of people have been like, oh, Celebration was magical and perfect and everything. I mean, there were issues. The app was an adventure in of itself. I remember the Thursday the panel reservation system launched, and the app like crashed, and some people couldn't make reservations at all. You were only supposed to be able to make reservations on 1 stage per day, and that rule went out the window. I definitely like made reservations for the same stage on this like twice in the same day, and it's just, the app let you do it. So that got frustrating. The line for the store was really long because you were supposed to be able to like basically fast pass your way into the store, and that function like never worked. So there was this point where a lot of us were stressed, but it wasn't like this negative rain cloud. It was like this thing we were all going through together. Like, if you literally had nothing to talk about in line, you could at least complain about the app. Like, it's kind of weird. It was this this thing that kind of still somehow brought us all together. And the other parts of the app worked fine, the schedule and the map on it and everything, so it wasn't really all that bad. You know, the lottery system wasn't as big of a deal. I didn't see the episode 9 panel in the big room like I wanted, but I watched it at the Star Wars show stage. And that was something really cool too, because I got to know the people in line. There was really like one day where I was at one of the big panels on the celebration stage, and the guy in front of me like shushed me because I was talking to the person sitting next to me. Like, I wasn't shouting or anything. He was just like annoyed, and it was so jarring because that was literally the only time in 5 days that someone had a problem with like literally anything. Like, there was just this understanding that you were going to go there and talk to strangers, and it was really cool. I can't really explain what it's like to walk around and just see stormtroopers or Jedi or like Darth Nihilus just standing over there, and it's like totally normal. Like, that was one thing I had to adjust to coming back, because there just was not 5 cosplayers everywhere I went. And that was just the coolest thing. It was just, you went to a place and you were completely immersed in only Star Wars, you know? And like, I'm a big fan of other things, like I'm a huge MCU fan, and it would have been fine to see that there too, I guess, but like, there was just something magical about it being Star Wars. There was just this one big thing that kind of combined, like, bonded us all together. And then I had some other really unique experiences too, not just talking to fellow fans, meeting new fans, or meeting my internet friends, but I had some really good experiences meeting VIPs within Star Wars. And I didn't have one of those cool stories. Like, I saw people who got pictures with Dave Filoni or John Boyega or whatever, and you see that stuff on Twitter a lot too. That's really a very small percentage of the people at Celebration, because you have to be at the right place, right time. I think when you're watching it online at home, you're kind of like the guy in the chair, like Ned, to talk about the MCU. You're seeing it all, right? You're seeing everyone's tweets. So when Dave Filoni shows up everywhere, you see the 20 people who met him. And it feels like everyone met him, but really that's 20 people in 50,000. That's really not normal. I got my picture with Matt Martin. I got my picture with Claudia Gray. I got to meet David Collins, who is just has such a long and rich history within Star Wars in sound and voice acting and emceeing events. I got to talk to Kevin Scott, which was phenomenal. Like, he's been on our show. We've talked to him numerous times, and then like I got to meet him in person and have like a really nice conversation with him. And that was the cool part too, like connecting to people who make the things that you like. And maybe it's not, Oscar Isaac, but it's people that you've kind of always had this one-sided relationship with, where you've only ever read the stuff they've done or listened to the stuff they've done or watched the stuff they've done, and instead you kind of get to shake their hand, and say thank you. And that's phenomenal too, and kind of surreal, and it's really nice to be able to do that, and just have that connection. And since I've been back these past couple days, like, it's such a fast culture shock. Like, already back into online, like, just seeing people being mad about the kind of speculating that's going on, or like seeing ship wars still happen, this kind of stuff. Man, like, I got to go where we didn't fight about that stuff. Like, that stuff existed. People shipped different things. People had different interpretations. People liked different things better than others. We just got along. And I think it's that face-to-face aspect where so often we forget that the person we're talking to is a real person with real feelings on the other side of the computer, and we never know what they're going through that day. And really actually getting to talk to people was amazing. I talked to people that I had encountered online where I wasn't sure we were going to hit it off, and we did. And it's so cool to like just have that extra level of comfort of, oh, you really do like it when I talk to you, so I can actually talk to you more. I really want, I want to go again. I don't yet know if Anaheim next year is in the books. I don't want to speak against it. I don't want to say I can't or it won't happen. I don't actually know if it's going to either, but I definitely want to do Celebration again. And there'd be things I would do differently, 100%. Like, I would take buttons to trade this time. No one was mad that I didn't have them. Like, I still got a ton of buttons and I had nothing to give away. The generosity of the people there was so inspiring. But at the same time, like, I treasure what I did get to do. So I absolutely would love to go again. But what it also inspired in me was we can always have this attitude. And that was the mind-blowing part to me. We can always be this excited. We can always cheer. We can always love this much stuff. And we can always just simply not partake in what we weren't interested in. I mean, there were panels on the main stage of stuff I wasn't interested in. I just didn't go to that panel. You know, you don't want to talk about it. You don't. And you kind of let people move on. And you get excited about what you do get excited about. And you don't let anybody not let you be excited. I was having this conversation actually with somebody online about bickering that goes back and forth, and how one person likes to stand up to some of the people that are throwing shade on the internet, to make people who might not feel validated feel valid. And what I said in response is, like, that's a good thing, but the way to kind of validate each other is to share and enjoy and talk about what we do. Like, screaming at a troll doesn't validate anybody but the troll. That's how trolls work. You know, they prefer that negative attention. If they didn't, they wouldn't be trolls. And they're just, that's what was magical about Celebration. That's where the celebration came from, is we were living out Rose's words. You know, we were celebrating what we love. We weren't fighting what we hated. And that was just the most incredible part to me. So I guess that's my reflection, is if you get the chance to go, you should. You absolutely should. If you never get to go, you know, you're not less of a fan. You're not, you know, I don't feel like I'm more of a fan or a better fan because I went. I feel like I've seen what fandom can be. And I would challenge you, if you want to go to Celebration but can't, for whatever your reason, geography, money, what have you, I challenge you to bring Celebration to wherever you are and whatever your experiences are, because we absolutely can do it, but we absolutely have to do it together. So those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed them. Like, subscribe, follow, all of that good stuff. And keep it real and fly casual.
Cooking can be fun with Chef Gourmando.